I know.
I'm a Richard Craig land speed record.
All right, go
All
ahead.
right, now we call it order.
All right, I'm here.
All right.
Approval of minutes.
We'll share the screen here so you can all see them. The minutes from the June meeting. Need a motion and a second to approve.
I'll second.
That was John was first.
Yep.
Just
Just a quick vote.
visitor comments.
Just quick vote.
Oh, what?
Quick vote on the minutes.
Oh, okay. Vote.
All in favor?
All in favor? Aye.
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 Problem solved.
Visitor comments.
Is Stephanie here? I don't see Stephanie in our group. Abby, I didn't see Stephanie.
He never got back to me on joining, so I'm gonna see if I can get her to get on next meeting, but I do have some information on it.
All right, you want to take that up in new business, old business, that information, or you want to take it right now?
Let's just.
It doesn't matter, whatever works
Yeah.
for you guys.
Let's just do it now.
Do it right now.
Okay, so they have a team, I think it's like 15 to 20 students, and they are looking to do about 3 songs and then the lighting. So I told her they're wanting to get there about 45 minutes beforehand, do the music and then the tree lighting. So she can have more information on in depth, like what the music is going to be and what songs they're going to do. I said something fun that's easy to carol to if people want to do that.
Sounds good. Should we
But
pick a
that's
time
about all the
now, or-
information I have.
Well, that's good. At least we got somebody lined up. So
Yeah, and they're willing to do it every year too. Like this could be a permanent thing for them. So she said it could just be a permanent spot in their program. If you guys want to do that, pretty easy to do that.
yeah.
We don't necessarily need to pick a time now, but you
No,
want to put
no.
this on new business next month and then just,
Yeah,
or
yeah,
just keep have
Just-
an ongoing monthly thing until we
Yeah.
get there.
Perfect.
Okay. Old business.
Well, John's here now, so
Yeah.
Rooftop Lighting. So this is
Wait.
just to prime the pump. This is the conversation, and John asked a salient question. We've had strive out at his property. And obviously there are issues with water and moisture, and there was just, John raised a point, like, since the district funds the lighting program, do we want to continue with repairs and such? If those are the issues, and if there's a life expectancy that, water keeps causing shorter issues. I know Holland, who's not on, for some reason, her lights on Dale keep falling off the building, the metal brackets. So I don't know what that's about, but because I don't get that report from a lot of other folks that the metal brackets are falling off. So I'm not exactly sure what that issue is. So that, I think, John, if that's accurate, but I'll turn it to you. You sort of raised the issue to me.
So the problem on the south side of the main, basically from Webster Walk up through Frisco, is that over time, the seals have broken on the lights and water gets into them and it blows the GFI and they turn off. They're perfect for 2 years. And then at about 2-year point, just slowly, it started happening more and more and more. The north side of the street has only done it a few times. But now, since about November, we've pretty much have not had lights on the south side of the street. The north side is on sometimes. I have to go in and flip the GFIs. It means I have to go into a tenant's space. I don't own all the buildings, but because it was a problem, I started I took the lights off of Cravings. I put an outlet on one of my buildings because he didn't like being bugged all the time to change the GFI. So I took the burden myself, and I have the north side of the street and the south side of the street's lights on the electric on my properties. And I have to flip them on all the time. They've slowly degraded on the south side to where I've had an electrician out 3 times. We've spent all sorts of money. Strive has come out and basically said, the light is at the point, it's got maybe a 5-year lifespan. I've simultaneously was in getting my bike worked on, and a guy comes in and goes, man, I was just up on the roof again. He goes, I'm trying them again. And it's funny because I was in the bike shop and his neighbors in there complaining to the owner, Ron,
Clip.
about how they're fighting it also. I go, are you guys talking about your lights?
Yeah.
And we all like had this commiserating moment together where they're fighting it also. And so at the end of the day, it's not perfect for anybody. That made me feel better about the whole situation. But end of the day, I'm thinking about it looks really good when the lights are on the buildings. It looks really good in Old Webster when the core of the street on both sides of the street, the old lights are on it. Just adds to the historic feel. I'd like to keep them on somehow in our district, but at the cost of how much every 5 years for how many buildings becomes something that's before it was going to be, that's the question, before it was going to be the building owners paid for half of it. Then we ended up just not even following through on that because of the hassle of getting the money or something when Mara was still here and the district just picked up the whole cost of it. So it's really up to the district. How do we proceed? I don't know. I have a lot of properties. I guess I would. The lights that are across my properties also then are across, I don't own all of those. So there's people who we would have to talk into doing it also. Some of them are pretty non-responsive and might say no. So then I'd have a patch here, a patch there. It's only gonna look good if the whole thing is done. So we have to think about, do we just let it go? Do I keep chasing it? Do I spend my own money? Or does the district, do we want them that bad?
I mean, are there any better lights since then? I mean, technology better? I mean, it seems like lights are going.
I'm definitely a fan of, if we're gonna spend $3,000 for 5 years, I'd rather spend $5,000 for 10. But I don't know, I didn't do the first round.
Yeah, so, and I don't know the answer to that question. I'm assuming lights have gotten somewhat better. We've still got strands, like the black strands you have up there. There are still boxes in my office that Mara had from the original purchase that was made. So we've, between Old Webster and Old Orchard, there's still strands and bulbs that we have, so we can replace with, like existing look. But that, I mean, there's nothing that says that as things come into, we can change. I mean, the other, I hate to put it this way, but LED rope lights that people put outside are actually built for that water because of course there is no potential to get water inside the rope, right? Yeah. Now rope lights look a little different and it's a different, different feel, but we can look at whatever and cost out whatever you want to look at. I have just been operating under the repair what's there when Strive is responsive to getting out there. So
I wonder if the LED ones, I mean, you probably get a soft white looking instead of that bright LED look.
I would imagine, yeah. I mean, they're soft white. If you look at Olive and Oak, they just got done, and everyone else has C9 bulbs. So we just these strands are now C7 bulbs, so they're a little smaller, and we put them in a soft white. But it looks, I mean, just the same. It doesn't really throw the difference in any way because we just did those this past year.
I mean, it's kind of up to you, John. I mean, I would say let's do what it takes to get to the lights because it does help, but
Make it feel like it's alive at night.
that's a lot of expense for you though, I guess. I mean, if we would do what we do before, we did like half or something.
We did 100% from Old Orchard. So, well, I let me speak since I've been here, right? Mara told me it was 100% program by the district. So when we've had repair at Holland's place, Strive's out, we just cover the bill, so this really prompted when Strive, told John, what was it, 3,000 or something, the initial just off back of the park estimate, back of the envelope estimate, that's when John called me and, should we talk about this? So.
Yeah, Old Orchard was 100% and Old Webster has been 50-50. Now it's taken them a longer time to get it done.
Because you gotta reach the building owner.
We have to reach the building owner no matter what. But
Convince him then at 50-50.
and some of them, the building owner wasn't interested in, but the tenants were, and the tenants paid for it. You're right, though, it does really look good. Olive and Oak just did a picture with the lights up and they posted on Instagram and it just really looks nice.
I've never had a problem.
Knock on wood.
I think with Holland, each building,
Never had a problem. So.
the building parapets,
Mhm.
how they go up on the front,
Yeah.
how they're mounted. There's a lot of different variables
Sure.
that go into, I've had, my handyman's been up there. He has hours and hours working on these, putting them back down, siliconing them to the parapet. Sometimes there's flashing of metal that goes up, sometimes the metal will blow up in the wind and the light strand gets kinked, and then I have a new source for a leak, and there's just a lot of things going on up there. Across every building is different too.
I mean, would you be up for initiating a quote for replacing what needs to be replaced or?
Yeah, I mean, I have an electrician too, who's much like Stride, we struggle.
Yeah, so we can use any electrician and such. I think the real question for the district is you talk about this, are we going to the same type of light spacing, you know, or do you want to go to a more rope? Understanding you're gonna have some difference, right? I mean, Bob, your building is, I saw it on this morning, has the original and, which is fine if you want to. I don't think
Yeah,
there's
but
really,
it's separate from the other ones too.
Yeah.
I don't think you'd be able to look at that side and then look at the south side and go, oh, those are completely different. I mean, you hopefully you get something very similar, like, I mean, a soft yellow.
We can, and if I had to, I can pay one of my kids to go switch out all the bulbs down the whole street, right? To just make sure the bulb color matches, like to make sure we're at a 2700 K or a. Old Orchard seems warmer, sometimes like or more orangish, like a 2200 K, like whereas 2700 K is the warm yellow.
Yeah.
The orange is 2200, then you get into like, that's like 4000. How about I get a quote from my guys? If you want to try to hassle through Stripe, certainly both.
yeah, that's not
I
a
can
problem.
try to have them come back. I'll have Stripe come back out
Okay, you want
and
me to have them come out to quote you or? do we-
how about,
What are we
I got
quoting?
that, they gave me a direct contact.
Okay, that's fine.
I'll copy you on
Okay.
it and I'll go straight to him.
What are we quoting?
Quoting the south side of,
To replace?
yes.
Okay.
They gave up on fixing. They came out and said they fixed it. A week later, I was like, no, you didn't. They sent them again, and then they just gave up and said, these things have a lifespan. Right. To really make this good, you're gonna have to replace it. That's kind of how we got here.
Since we're on it, we can also, I can push the big button here that I haven't pushed. I'm not necessarily. Just think about this is that, you know, things like when you look at Washington Ave down, right? I mean, you have to work with the county when you're in Old Orchard on Big Bend, but the potential of overstreet lighting as well. You know, and the strands across, you know, across the poles and across buildings. So that is something that, you know, those types of taxing districts have taken on in the past. I don't know if you're interested, but I wanted to put that on the radar.
Yeah, Washington Avenue is pretty cool.
Right. We are not Washington Avenue. I get that, but I'm saying, you know, there's options outside of just being a building, right? That we can obviously work with the county if that's something the district's interested in.
All right, I think we just do that first.
I will take some quotes and I'll come back to you guys on what it's gonna cost. And then we'll do what I want to do. 50 moving forward or 100% or.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Gazebo series update, that'd be Fran, I think.
We're in full swing,
Yeah.
delivered posters. In fact, I just brought a couple for City Hall. I do need to get people to light a fire under them to get the check in right away. About half the people have, but there's a few other stragglers. Social media push has started. And I've already sent it, each two of you, I'm trying to get more content that I can put with the social media instead of just putting your logo up there. I'm willing to do more than is committed to on the sponsor sheet if I have the information. But yeah, and it was real interesting because the posters went to not just the sponsors, they went to just about everybody in Old Orchard and several in Old Webster, because you know, some of the sponsors are not in Old Orchard. There's several that are from Old Webster this time around. But everybody that I give a poster to, sponsor or not, were excited and wait for it to happen. Even when I delivered it to Subaru. So.
Perfect.
We might have a lot of people.
Well, again, Fran's done an awesome job of chasing all these people down. That's all her, so appreciate that.
It's a little less this year.
Well, that's
Some of the
money,
same
but you did
people,
much work.
but you know how, who knows what's going on.
And I think we're in pretty good shape financially wise, paying for everything through it, so that should be.
Yeah, I have, you and I need to talk. I went through the statements.
All right, well, then we're in pretty good shape. They start when?
The
Next?
19th,
19,
I'm gonna be out of town.
10 days from now.
We're gonna try to run food. I'm working on that.
because I definitely want to.
Yeah, don't put me down yet. I'm still
I'll
working
wait.
on it because it takes like 3 people, one to answer, one to run, and one to be over there taking orders. We're figuring that out.
Okay,
Should be able to do it.
3 people signed to find this.
Yeah.
3 and then back up 2.
Yeah. We're finally going the right direction there.
yeah, everybody's still got posters on their windows, that they're hiring. Everybody,
Restaurants were always hiring.
Mhm.
even before, right?
No, you guys don't know. It's that matured.
Oh, I've got 2 guys from the St. Patrick's Center. It's worked out really well. Jumped right in.
Pretty all sorts of questions for you.
All right, that's. All right, good, we're on a good.
The restaurateurs down here talking.
No, questions for you.
Okay,
So,
sure.
that's covered gazebo, I think, so we're
Yeah.
getting ready to start, new business. Special activities permit. for
Yep, so
Webster.
Webster Arts had put in, and we would have discussed this last month, but I wanted to get this approved, so this is sort of a back end look for you all, because we did approve this. Webster Arts is doing their little gazebo, mini arts fair type of things in Gazebo Park. So the dates are up here on the screen, very small, sorry, 8/20, 9/17, 10/15, 11/19, 12/17. So they are essentially closing down pieces of the right in front of the gazebo there. Get the dates up so you can all see them a lot better and easier.
Mhm.
There we go. So 8/20, 9/17, 10/15, 11/19, 12/17. So you don't need any action out of you all because the city approved this. I just wanted to make you aware since it's in the district and it happens. You obviously did this, approved this last year, and so no meeting last month, figured that it was safe to approve.
Sure, yep, good. More stuff,
More stuff, more traffic.
yeah. All right. And Webster Kirkwood Times holiday ad package.
So get all these things up out of your way here, so you can see this. This is the holiday advertising package, so you all know this, the pitch from Webster Kirkwood Times is that the district buys the page and then business owners can get in for $95 or 110, these costs here. So this is their sheet here that would obviously going out to the business owners. On our side, as now that I have to find my email, which is right there. So for the district, it would be $325 per issue, so $975 total. Each merchant, maximum 12, kicking in $95 per ad. So that's what they've asked. It's in line with what you've done in past years, so I just wanted to bring it up before Jenny Starkey will take care of authorizing all the stuff, but I wanted to make sure you're all good with that.
Yeah, that looks good, yep.
Good.
It starts November 11th.
That's correct. Yes, November 11th.
Sounds good to me.
All right. Those are the new business items.
BDC update.
BDC update. So on the theme of always looking for someone to work, the BDC has looked through all the survey results and all the different input in the roundtable and such that happened. And also the budget this year put $100,000 of the ARP, the federal money on the American Rescue Plan, in a business development fund. So BDC was charged with come up with some ideas. And so out of that input, they have concentrated on what they've heard mostly is the availability of workforce, right? And helping people hire and retain workforce. And so the city's first step that we talked about and that we have developed is a free to Webster businesses city job board. So that's easy to do, right? It's right on our website. It's going to be called workinwebstergroves.com, where any of you as a city business, you simply send a business in the city, send in your job posting. We'll put it up there. The key is, and where we're going with this ultimately, is that the BDC is going to take to council a marketing package to put some significant money behind advertising that potential to work at webstergroves.com. So it's essentially to help try to draw in more employees and such, and to help fill those needs that you all have. So that is the BDC's big update that they're working on top of a scavenger hunt for October, which I don't have details beyond what I just told you right there. So
Yep, sounds good. City update.
just a couple brief things. Back to screen here. I want to share with you. Business licenses are always posted on our business page. So here's our latest report for all of you that we're looking. These are the new businesses that registered in June. July will be out shortly. And then all the closed businesses, well, those that notify us. There's always a bunch that, never notify us. We find out later that they've closed. So
Don't pay the tax.
yeah, so So that's always on our business page, so you can always find that right there. Where it was going, I think it's over here in PDF. There it is. So I wanted to just quickly touch on your budget from fiscal year 22, the year that ended at the end of June. So you know where you're at. Your property taxes did outstanding, $14,000 over, which is great. And you, which is fine. You had no delinquent property tax payments, which is good. So that means folks are up to date, at least those that are paid are up to date. So that's a good amount there. Business licenses, you were 21,9,400 over the estimate, so that's good. Business licenses came in. This miscellaneous income here of $4,200. We went back and did an audit here, and we corrected some of our past accounting practices where some of your business license revenue had been booked to the general fund. So we moved that back out. So instead of putting it in the year-to-date business licenses, I wanted to separate that. So we marked it as miscellaneous. So it was received, but it was meant to be like a 21 revenue and such, and it came in late. And so it's right here at that. That's your income there in 22. Your spending in line with everything we'd expect. You can see disposal services, you know, Republic Service always nickels up a little bit on their bill on the disposal. Advertising, you had 61%. That's your biggest savings that you had of the budget. The only major over is the contract area maintenance, and that's really just dealing with some of the issues between, we got the new garbage cans in that we ordered and just lighting issues as we look at different costs and such. So being over is not a big deal. We can always accommodate that in your budget. Bottom line is revenue. Remember, we take the general fund transfer out, so it always looks like a negative for you. And so you had $12,000 of expenses, $18,000 negative technical revenue. But again, if you remove the transfer, you actually had well over that in terms of real revenue received. So I mean, you were $25,000 of real revenue taken in. So this issue of the transfer with the general fund is going to have to be addressed at some point, because ultimately the transfer for the general fund causes you to use a bit of your fund balance, the savings of the district. But that's paying for Parks and Rec and all the things they do. So we're going to have some conversations about what scale of things they do, if you want to support that with yearly revenue, or if you want to continue to fund out of that, the fund balance, which again is your savings, things off the amount of money, you know, outside of the budget that you have accumulated. Which is fine, you can do that. It's just a matter of you making that recommendation to the council, and we want to make sure that we're appropriately providing the right service from the Parks Department, but also the service that you want to pay for, right? And not just assuming. So I just wanted to share the budget update. So that's how we closed the year. It was a good year actually for you all. So revenues really rebounded.
Good. All right, next meeting September.
I'm sorry, Officer Rizzo, was there anything from you?
No, I don't have anything.
There we go. That's
No, sorry. All right, next meeting September 13th.
That good for everyone?
Everybody?
Yep.
And motion for adjournment. Motion to adjourn, right?
That's fine.
Steve moved.
I'll second. It's Angel.
There we go.
Right.
Can you just go on, favor?
All in favor? Keep reminding.
No.
I need a.
All right. Thank you all.
Thanks. See you later.